Hands-on learning story time with Miss Veronica. Today's story is Mincemeat and the Incredible Train Ride, written by Lois Davis and illustrated by Sarah-Leigh Wills. Don't you worry, Mincemeat. You were being generous and thoughtful. Sit here on the bench while I go into the station office and get you a glass of water. A moment later, Clarence came back with water, and Mincemeat downed it thirstily. Which carriage were you sitting in? Asked Clarence. Carriage number 3, I think. Berkeley was leaning out the window of his driver's cab, looking down the platform. Reverse the train, please, Berkeley, yelled Clarence. We need carriage number 3 up here. Berkeley pulled the big gear lever into reverse, and Zayn moved slowly backward down the platform. Clarence helped the exhausted Mincemeat up into the carriage. Great-Grandma was still standing by the window. Don't be upset with him, Great-Grandma. Mincemeat was being so thoughtful. Oh, I could never be upset with Mincemeat. He's far too lovely for that. Putting her arm around Mincemeat, she took the sad-looking lilacs from him. Thank you, Mincemeat. It was so sweet of you. You sit down and enjoy the rest of the journey. I'm just glad you're safe. Clarence's voice sounded over the tannoy. Next station, Bumblebee Bridge. Bumblebee Bridge, next station. Passengers began gathering their belongings together. Mincemeat had fallen asleep after his adventure, and he awoke feeling rather hungry. Great-Grandma opened the picnic basket. The train journey took them part way along the coast, Zayn traveling on a track high above the sea. The views were wonderful, and they could see a boat coming into the harbor at Popcorn Cove. The picnic lasted until they slowed into Popcorn Cove station. As the carriage door opened, a whole family of seagulls elbowed their way in. Chatting noisily, they tried to decide where to sit, pushing and shoving each other. One of the baby seagulls spotted the remains of the picnic. Without asking, he snatched the last fried dandelion and gobbled it down greedily. His mother was cross. Cedric, you naughty boy, you don't just help yourself to other people's food, and especially without asking. Too late now, you've eaten it. You apologize now to the nice lady and her lovely cat. Cedric hung his head. I'm sorry. Good boy. Now all of you come and sit down nicely. No more pushing and shoving, and certainly no squawking. They all did as they were told, sitting in a row, looking out of the window until they got to the next station, Frog's Leap, where they all got off and waddled down the platform. As Zayn was coming back down the track, away from the sea, he decided it was now or never to turn himself into an express train. Berkeley was steering him as usual when Zayn unexpectedly accelerated. He sped under bridges, whizzing past fields. Going so fast the trees along the side of the track blew furiously about. Berkeley couldn't stop him. Zayn was having so much fun he was laughing. The passengers couldn't believe what was happening as the countryside shot past the windows. Great-Grandma thought it was wonderful. Oh, how positively exciting! Mincemeat's fur was blowing flat against his face from the force of the wind coming in through the open window. Berkeley was trying to slow Zayn down, but Zayn was having far too much fun for that. He went faster than ever. He raced past a lake, the swans on the lake stopping and staring at the express train, for they couldn't believe their eyes. Clarence's voice boomed over the tannoy. Next station, Hamster Heights. Hamster Heights, next station. Zayn, will you please slow down at once? But Zayn didn't. He hurtled right through the station. On and on he flew, laughing all the way. By now, people had heard about the express train, and they were coming out of their houses and rushing onto the bridges above the railway track to see the runaway train. Farmers stopped what they thought they were doing and ran to the edges of their fields to have a look. Bert, the policeman from a nearby village of Willow Green, was waiting with his bicycle to go over the railway crossing safely. He was standing by the barrier when Zayn thundered through. Zayn must have been going 100 miles an hour. Dancing dormice, Bert exclaimed. Whatever is going on? He knew Zayn and Berkeley well and would usually wave to them as he waited to cross the track. But today he just stood there open-mouthed. On board the train, Great-Grandma still thought it was all very exciting. Mincemeat wasn't so sure. Zayn thought it was very funny and was laughing harder than ever. Whatever are we going to do, Mr. Clippet? Asked Berkeley. Clarence looked serious. He scratched his head as he thought. There is only one thing we can do, Berkeley. I'll have to pull the emergency cord. The next station was Duckling Down. When Clarence saw the station coming into view, he yanked hard on the emergency cord. Zane's wheels made the greatest screeching sound as he came to an abrupt stop alongside the platform. By this time Zayn was quite out of breath, and he knew he was in trouble. Berkeley and Clarence Clippet got down from the driver's cab. "Whatever do you think you were doing?" said Berkeley to Zayn crossly. "My passengers have missed their stop at Hampstead Heights." Zayn was panting, trying to catch his breath. "Well," barked Clarence, "what have you got to say for yourself?" Zayn coughed and said in a very deep, sorrowful voice, "All I wanted was to be an express train." "Well, you certainly were," said Clarence. "If you were bored, Zayn, you should have told Berkeley, and you could have talked about it. Maybe we could have changed the route to make it more interesting for you. I'm sure we could have sorted something out." "I'm sorry," said Zayn. "I never meant to cause trouble. Honestly, I didn't." Clarence could see that the train was truly sorry. Teardrops welled up in Zayn's eyes. Clarence took out his big white handkerchief from his waistcoat pocket and dried Zane's eyes. "Don't cry," said Clarence, "but if you ever have a problem or if you feel unhappy, please remember it's always best to talk about it." After such an adventure, Zayn was tired, so he rested at Duckling Down before continuing the journey. As the passengers settled back down, they were all chattering about what had happened. Clarence passed through the carriages. "Tickets, please! Tickets, please! Any more tickets now?" "I am so sorry some of you missed your stop at Hampstead Heights." No one seemed to mind at all, saying they really enjoyed the ride. The next stop was Marshmallow Ridge. Everything here was made of marshmallows. The ticket office, the waiting room, the benches on the platform, too, which were soft and springy. There was a sweet shop on the platform that sold only marshmallows, of course. "I'd love a bag of marshmallows," thought Mincemeat. A little boy got on the train with his mother and came and sat right next to Mincemeat. The little boy was clutching a paper bag full to the top with marshmallows. Silently stretching out his arm, he offered the bag to Mincemeat. "Thank you," said Mincemeat. "That's so kind of you. Marshmallows are my favorites, but once I choked on a marshmallow, and so I'm not allowed them anymore." Zayn chugged through the open countryside until they approached Sweet Corn Central. "Next station, Sweet Corn Central, Sweet Corn Central, next station." Not many passengers got out on Sweet Corn Central, as the station after that was Field Mouse Meadows, the last stop on the line. Mincemeat settled down to read a new cookery book. Great Grandma fell asleep. Zayn was exhausted. He pulled into the station platform at Field Mouse Meadows slowly, coming to a stop with a gentle jolt. Clarence decided that Zayn was so weary he should spend the night there in the train shed, returning to Candy Floss Central the next morning. Great Grandma woke up as Clarence made his final announcement over the tannoy. "Last stop, Field Mouse Meadows," he said. "Field Mouse Meadows, last stop. Please make sure you have all of your belongings with you. I would like to thank you all for traveling with Candy Floss Central Railway Company, and hope you've enjoyed your journey, especially all the excitement today." Mincemeat put his cookery book away in the picnic basket. Clutching the basket, he stepped down onto the platform and then helped Great Grandma to get off the train. Aunt Petunia was waiting in her beautiful car outside the station to meet them. The car was made from a huge old pumpkin and had purple curtains at the windows. Great Grandma got in beside Aunt Petunia, and Mincemeat sat with the wicker basket on his knees at the back. The old pumpkin car rattled along the country lanes. Great Grandma and Aunt Petunia chatted away while Mincemeat enjoyed the scenery. Soon enough they arrived at Aunt Petunia's cottage in Lupin Lane. While Aunt Petunia made a pot of tea, Mincemeat lifted out the red check cloth from the picnic basket and carefully unwrapped the chestnut cake that he had made the day before. He placed it on a tray and carried it through the garden where they had tea while sitting in the sunshine. "Now then, do you have any interesting news?" inquired Aunt Petunia. Great Grandma chuckled. "Oh, indeed we have, don't we, Mincemeat? Aunt Petunia could hardly believe her ears. "My goodness me," she said, after hearing the story. "What an exciting day!" They all agreed it had been the most exciting day.
Maybe you remember last time we made this great little picnic blanket, and today we're going to do a craft. We're going to make mincemeat. So let's get started.
For craft time today, you need one orange piece of paper, some crayons, scissors, and a glue stick.
Thanks for joining me for story time today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.